Get ready for Benjamin Knight Fuchs live, coming to you live on a Sunday evening. Ben, how are you?
What's going on, Liam? I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You were out doing some traveling. How's everything?
Yeah, yeah, hanging out with my mom.
How's
It
mom
gives me
doing?
a well, it's a wake up call for me. We're not getting any younger.
Yeah, that's true.
So she's kind of a cautionary tale. She didn't really take care of herself um, when she was younger, so she's paying the price now, unfortunately. But I'm helping her out, telling her about nutrition, telling her how to get. Where'd you go here, Liam? I lost you, buddy.
I'm right here.
Where the heck are you, Liam? I don't see Liam.
Yeah, right here, Ben.
Where'd you go?
I'm right there.
Oh my goodness. Have some technical issues here. All right, so Liam,
Yes, sir.
do you take melatonin?
I do take melatonin. I was
Sleep.
having a little bit of trouble with sleeping, so
So when you think of melatonin, what do you think of? Sleep, right?
sleep.
Pretty
Yeah.
much everybody does. But as it turns out, melatonin is a powerful protective molecule. It's used as an antioxidant. It's got anti-inflammatory properties, as we're going to talk about here in a little bit. It can help fight cancer. It's actually even part of the COVID protocol.
Really
Yes. How do you like
interesting.
that? When President Trump, former new President Trump, I don't know what you want to call him, when he got COVID, melatonin was one of the things they gave him. And,
Wow.
and there is an entire COVID protocol, including things like melatonin and lactoferrin. I know we should talk about lactoferrin sometime. Lactoferrin is a molecule that's found in whey protein in mother's milk, and it has antiviral and anti-inflammatory and immune boosting properties. It's kind of interesting how there's these things that support the immune system and help us fight diseases or help us fight microbes and infections that we don't really talk about. Everybody thinks of antibiotics, but who thinks of melatonin? Everybody thinks of antivirals, but who thinks of lactoferrin? As it turns out, melatonin has got a lot of other roles to play in the body too. Melatonin is important for the digestive tract.
Okay.
It actually plays a role in digestive health. It's been used to treat GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. It can help stabilize bacteria in the intestine. If you have dysbiosis, it's been used for folks who have irritable bowel syndrome.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
It's
Melatonin
totally amazing.
is found throughout the body. We always think of it as being a hormone that's made in the pineal gland, which it is. And it is made from serotonin. Serotonin gets converted into melatonin. Melatonin is a nighttime hormone, so as the sun goes down, serotonin gets converted into melatonin. Serotonin is a daytime hormone, which means you can upregulate or improve your melatonin synthesis, melatonin levels, by getting out in the sun. Why? Because when you're out in the sun, you make more serotonin, and then you'll have more serotonin available for the production of melatonin.
Wow, cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Sunshine's really important, and that's without a sunscreen. Whereas sunscreen, you're going to deprive yourself of some of those benefits, although a lot of the serotonin boosting benefits come in through the eyes. And the eyes are also, by the way, a site of melatonin, a site in the body where you find melatonin. Melatonin is found in bile. It's found in breast milk. It's found in the GI tract, as we mentioned, the brain, obviously, the eyes, the liver, and as we're going to talk about today, the skin. In fact, I'm a skin guy, as you know. TruthTreatments.com for you guys listening. For you guys who want to check out my True Skin Health products. And I use melatonin topically because melatonin plays a very, very important role in the skin. Why don't you go to the first slide?
Hit the slides. Sure.
First slide. So this is from the Journal of Experimental and Therapeutic Medicine from, I'm going to turn my light on. I hope it doesn't mess us up too much here. From 2019. And this is about melatonin synthesis dropping as we get older, which is unfortunate because that's when we really need our melatonin, which is why supplementing with melatonin is probably a good idea as you get older. I should mention to you, melatonin is actually found in various foods, grapes, oats, grains in general. Bananas are a source of melatonin, wheat, barley. So you can find melatonin plants. Melatonin is found everywhere. Melatonin is found everywhere. It's not just an animal hormone. It's evolutionarily conserved. It's found in all life, in most life forms, including plants. I recommend supplementation as you get older because, as we'll find out here, as we'll talk about here in a sec, melatonin levels decrease with age. Quote, reduction in melatonin secretion with age may be associated with physiological aging and neurodegenerative disease. So researchers who are writing this article believe that some of the signs of aging, some of the symptoms of physiologic aging, if you could say symptoms, especially when it involves the brain, may be related to decreases in melatonin synthesis. They also mention that these decreases may involve cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and they say particularly type 2 diabetes, cancer, and we know melatonin is anti-cancer, as well as endocrine or hormone disorders. They continue to say the therapeutic role of melatonin has been demonstrated in sleep disorders, we know that, eye damage, and cardiovascular disease. Previous studies have reported the anti-inflammatory effect of melatonin by adjusting levels of cytokines. You probably have heard of the cytokine storm. Cytokines are associated with various inflammatory diseases like arthritis and viral infections, or can be the most recent viral infection was linked to what they call a cytokine storm. Melatonin is anti-cytokine. So there's so many wonderful benefits for melatonin, but particularly for older folks. Next slide. And as I mentioned, I'm partial to melatonin because I'm a skin guy, and melatonin plays a really interesting role when it comes to improving skin health. This is from the Nepal Journal of Dermatology, Venereology, and Leprology from 2021. Quote, melatonin's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant support coupled with its mitochondrial modification. Mitochondria are known as the energy factories of a cell. And as such, because they're constantly producing energy and they're constantly transforming sugars and fats into energy, they give off sparks in that process. Those sparks can cause damage. These sparks are called free radicals. Melatonin, by virtue of its ability to scavenge free radicals, can protect mitochondria. We know that mitochondrial aging is one of the major reasons why cells lose function. They become senescent, as they say, and they lose function with age. Protecting your mitochondria is a really healthy strategy. Melatonin does just that, a really healthy anti-aging strategy. And then they talk about here with specifically for the skin, the cutaneous skin, melatonergic system. In other words, there's melatonin actually being made in the skin. Yes, it's not just brain hormone. It's made in the skin itself. The cutaneous melatonergic system, that's a fancy scientific way of the skin's melatonin factory, provides for a high level of cell-specific selectivity. Several skin cells, including normal, this is important, and malignant skin cells, keratinocytes, as well as melanocytes. Those are the cells that produce melanoma, fibroblasts, and hair follicles, interestingly, express melatonin receptors. So you got melatonin receptors in melanocytes. You got melatonin receptors in hair follicles. You got melanocytes are the cells that make pigment. You got melatonin receptors in the fibroblasts, the cells that make collagen, all of which is to say that the cells that make the collagen, the cells that make your skin barrier nice and strong, the cells that make pigment, all are responsive to melanin. Turns out melatonin, I'm sorry, not melatonin. It's very easy to get confused. Melanin is the pigment. Melatonin actually gets its name by its ability to control pigment, to regulate melatonin. Tonin means to regulate. Mela means black or pigment. And then they further go on to say that several functions of melatonin in the skin have been experimentally implicated, such as hair growth, fur pigmentation, melanoma control, suppression of UV-induced damage to the skin cell. Melatonin may play a role in treating several dermatitises, including atopic eczema, psoriasis, melasma, ulcer healing, as well as malignant melanoma. How do you like all this stuff? This is pretty amazing, right? And this is all for a supplement you get buy on Amazon or in a drugstore or a health food store. You can use Youngevity. Youngevity has an amazing melatonin gummy, by the way. I don't know if you use that, Liam. Super, super strong. It includes plant melatonin. All of these wonderful benefits in a supplement you get at Amazon or the health food store, completely non-toxic and pretty darn cheap. And then if you have a cleverly formulated skincare product or clever formulator like myself, you will find melatonin in skincare products, and topically melatonin exerts some really cool benefits, as we'll talk about here in a sec. All right, next slide. This one is really interesting. This one is about dermatitis in kids, pediatric dermatitis. And they say that atopic dermatitis, let's see here, 48 children, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Although the effect was modest, melatonin supplementation has the potential to improve quality of life for patients and families, as it simultaneously improves sleep and may prevent children from scratching and exacerbating their condition. So this isn't specifically on the anti-inflammatory benefits, but according to this, you can give it to kids and they'll sleep well. And by the way, when you take melatonin to sleep, you get awesome, awesome dreams. Have you noticed that, Liam? Get really good dreams. One thing about melatonin,
Yes, it's true. It's
really good dreams, right?
Yeah.
A lot of folks who take melatonin don't realize that melatonin is not really a sleeping pill. It helps you fall asleep. But if you get a spike of cortisol, stress hormone, in the middle of the night because you have a nightmare or you're just thinking about something, you're going to get up. And not only that, even if you don't have a spike of cortisol, melatonin doesn't tend to keep you asleep. If you have insomnia, it'll get you there. It'll help you feel drowsy, but it won't keep you asleep. All right, next slide. Melatonin and skin aging. This is from Dermatoendocrinology, December 2012. Regarding UV-induced solar damage, melatonin distinctly, this is really cool, melatonin distinctly counteracts massive generation of our reactive oxygen species. That's a fancy way of saying free radicals, mitochondrial and DNA damage. Melatonin distinctly counteracts massive generation of ROS, as well as DNA and mitochondrial damage. That's what we're talking about, the mitochondria. It sucks up the sparks from the mitochondria, and of course, DNA damage. Protecting against DNA damage is always a good thing, particularly to protect against cancer. Thus, there is considerable evidence for melatonin to be an effective anti-skin aging compound, and its various properties are described. Next slide. Melatonin is a major skin protectant. This is from the International Journal of Molecular Science from 2019. Melatonin, a highly conserved ancient molecule. That means it's been around forever, at least relative to human evolution or relative to evolution in general, plays a crucial role in the maintenance of the skin. Advantages of topical use of melatonin, that means putting it on the skin in skincare products, for therapeutic purposes and skin protection are described, in our view. Intracutaneous melatonin production, that's melatonin production in the skin, together with topically applied melatonin, represents two of the most potent defense systems against external damage to the skin. Next slide. This is from Journal of Cellular Physiology, December 2018. Oops, that's not it. How do we get these mixed up? Protective. Did I skip something here? Did I skip one? No, next slide. Liam? No, next one. I think we got that slide's there twice. There you go. Potential use of melatonin in skin cancer treatment. Journal of Cellular Physiology. Melatonin, as the main product of the pineal gland, has oncostatic. Onco is cancer. Static means stop. Oncostatic means stops cancer. Oncostatic and anti-tumor properties. Also, melatonin acts as an anti-inflammatory and suppresses the growth of tumors. It also has apoptosis induction characteristics. Apoptosis is cell suicide. So melatonin encourages cells to be suicidal, to kill themselves when they're dysfunctional. And regulates various signaling pathways. These are stress management pathways. This is a lot of benefits, you guys. And this is taken internally as well as topically. Next slide. Melatonin reverses the oxidative damage to membrane lipids and improves the characteristics of biophysical characteristics in former smokers. Study on postmenopausal women. First of all, smoking is probably the single worst thing you do for your body, and it's especially problematic for the skin. If you've been smoking, for people who've been smoking for decades, as they age, it isn't going to be pretty. And postmenopausal women are especially prone towards really distressing skin thinness, skin laxity, and of course, really deep wrinkles, particularly around the mouth area. Well, guess what? It turns out melatonin reverses the damage and improves skin characteristics. This is super, super cool. If you're a former smoker, you're a smoker, and you're getting older, particularly if you're a woman, this can be really, really helpful for you. Melatonin significantly reversed the increased LPO level. LPOs are the toxins, lipid peroxides it stands for. Those are the toxic byproducts of cell damage. Melatonin significantly reversed the increased LPO levels in former smokers. Melatonin given orally actually increased skin sebum and moisture. So it's got benefits for folks who got dry skin. And melatonin topically also increased sebum levels. So you see that melatonin has got some tremendous benefits, not just for health, not just for beauty, but also for anti-cancer and for just general skin health. Exogenous melatonin reverses the oxidative damage to membrane lipids and improves skin biophysical characteristics in smokers. And then our last article here, this is from the Journal of Molecular Medicine, 2022. Melatonin inhibits senescence-associated melanin pigmentation. Senescence, it refers to old age or aging. Melatonin inhibits aging-associated melanin pigmentation. This is one of the distressing things that happens as our skin gets older, as we get older, as we hyperpigment more readily. It turns out that melatonin has anti-pigmentation benefits, particularly for senescent or older cells. Skin redness and pigmentation induced by UVB was reduced, so it has got anti-redness and anti-sun properties. And mice topically pretreated with 2.5% melatonin had a decrease in UV-induced senescence-associated pigmentation. It was a skin lightener, is what they're telling you. Bonus, it also inhibits the enzyme that produces pigment, tyrosinase, and you guys in the skincare business know all about tyrosinase inhibitors. For the uninitiated, tyrosinase inhibition is a tried and true strategy for topical skin lightening. Melatonin is a tyrosinase inhibitor, probably not as strong as hydroquinone or retinol, which are those are your gold standard skin lighteners. Nonetheless, you will get some skin lightening benefits from melatonin taken internally as well as topically, and that's important. You want to take your melatonin at bedtime, 3 milligrams, 2 milligrams, but you can go up to 5, even 10 milligrams. It's probably not a good idea to take too much melatonin when you're younger because you might suppress your own natural melatonin production. As you get older, that's probably less of an issue because you're not making melatonin anyway, or at least you're making less melatonin. It doesn't hurt to take days off from melatonin supplementation. And then topically, don't underestimate the importance of topical melatonin. If you're looking for a place to get topical melatonin products, go to truthtreatments.com. I formulate numerous products with melatonin. I've known about melatonin for the skin for many years. And then you can also make your own topical melatonin products. Just crush up a melatonin tablet or open up a melatonin capsule and put it into your favorite cream. I don't think it doesn't go into water very well, but if you put it into your favorite cream and stir it in there, you can make your own topical melatonin for anti-aging and for skin protection, and also for anti-cancer benefits. And then I really like using melatonin as a GI support supplement. Maybe we can talk about that on our next or on a future Ben and Liam LinkedIn interview.
Wow. Incredible. I had no idea the power of melatonin. Incredible.
I thought it'd be cool to talk about it. Most people don't know.
So
it's such a great molecule.
I've got just a couple of questions. One is,
are people listening? Do we have people on?
Nobody shouting out just yet.
Okay. You have personal questions.
I have personal questions.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your personal questions?
In topical use of melatonin, does it act transdermally and then also help you sleep?
Well, that's actually a very good question. You probably get some benefits depending on the formulation that the melatonin was in. Some formulas support transdermal penetration, but it's not going it's not going to give you the same kind of sleep effect that you would if you took it orally. You might get some benefit, but negligible, I would say.
Next question is for the melatonin product that you personally formulated. You have a passion for formulation. Is there a special?
Dermal defense.
What's that?
Is there a product that has melatonin? We're going to ask.
Yeah, that your product is there a special what have you done?
I got a few formulas with melatonin. Our dermal defense and our new retinol body serum, which we should talk about sometime. I'm guilty of not talking too much about the skincare, but I should talk about it a little bit more. Our Revive Body Elixir is a retinol with melatonin, among other things, body product for taking advantage of retinol for your whole body and melatonin, as well as fullerenes and other vitamins. And then I use melatonin in my nighttime mask, my Vitamask product, which is a nighttime mask. I call it PM mask. And I put melatonin there, and then it's in our dermal defense. It's in a few of our back bar products as well. I probably have 6 or 7 melatonin-containing products. But dermal defense is the main melatonin-containing product because, as the name implies, it's a defensive. It's designed to protect you. It has a defensive role to play to protect the skin from what's called the exposome. The exposome is all the dirt that skin is exposed to. So SOME, SOME at the end of the word, or OME, OM at the end of a word, like the microbiome refers to home. The microbiome is the home of microbes, microbiome. And then the exposome is the home of all the things bad things that our skin is exposed to, including carbon monoxide, UV radiation, cigarette smoke, and, various pollutants that are in the air. They age the skin. We don't necessarily appreciate the attack that the skin is constantly under because it does such a great job, right, of protecting us. But nonetheless, over time, those molecules in the exposome take their toll on the skin. So I created a product called Dermal Defense that you use daily, which is specifically designed with vitamins as well as melatonin for protecting the skin from the exposome. So thanks for asking. But for anybody who's interested, just go to TrueTreatments.com and check out our Dermal Defense. But I do use melatonin and a few other products as well.
Outstanding.
Okay.
All right. This was another awesome. I learned so much.
You're getting educated here. All right, buddy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Ben. Everybody, put your
happy
questions.
Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving to
Happy Thanksgiving.
everyone out there.
All right.
So we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.